What up, what up, what up, everybody? This your boy DJ Doc, man. I would like to welcome you back to the Beautiful Struggle Show. And today, I got a very, 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 very important host today. She goes by the name of Miss Tiffany Favorite. What's going on, Miss Tiffany?
Everything is going on. Everything is going on. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me on your show. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome with that. So, I heard a little bit about your story, but I want you to tell my audience what you got, how you got in the business, what you had going on. You know what I'm saying? Just give us a little run.
All right, I started back in the late 90s. It was some friends of mine. They wanted to do some music.
Okay.
And we met at school. I used to sing at school, but I never would say anything. I could go to school all day and don't speak, and people don't know I could sing, right? So then one of my boys was like, come on, you ought to sing, get on this song with us. And I was like, okay. So he had this song and he wanted to feature me, and we did it. And then we used to have this thing in Baton Rouge, was Family Day in the Park.
Okay, I remember that.
I don't know if you ever heard of that, Family Day in the Park?
Yeah, so you're a native of Baton Rouge?
Kind of, sort of, a little bit, yeah. My mom and dad were from the surrounding areas of Baton Rouge, and we moved there when I was, like, in my little teenage, like, right before teens.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
Baton Rouge is my home.
Okay, you from Baton Rouge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Baton Rouge. I'm from Easy Town.
What? Easy Town?
Easy Town.
Whoa. Okay, then. Okay,
then. Yeah, we did the song. It was the first time recording. And before Family Day in the Park, they do all the commercials. And so I heard our song on the radio, and I think that was it.
Thought you made it already, huh?
I was like, I ain't never heard myself on the radio, right? So that was the first little thing.
That's what's up.
We did Family Day in the Park. They put us last because everybody wanted to hear us. They was looking for our stuff in the store. We had recorded it, but we hadn't put out any records and stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
You used to buy records back then.
Yeah.
And so that was the first thing. Everybody loved us. They was ready for the record. And then my friends were like, man, we need to move to New York and just, we just thought you moved to New York and get a deal or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just started pursuing music like that. One day we just popped up and started going. We went to Atlanta first and auditioned for Bobby Brown. He wanted to sign everybody and stuff like that. We was all excited.
Yeah. That
fell through. You know how that is. One day you hot, the next day you not.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. That's, well, as far as for me, let me see. I think around 88, 89, I started pursuing the music, you know what I'm saying? And actually, my family had a couple of bands, you know what I'm saying? So I used to go DJ for them, doing like break time, So I always was around like R&B gospel artists and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So it really, It really been in my life,
That's
for a
me
long,
too.
long time,
Yeah, my mom was a gospel singer.
Okay.
In church all the time.
Okay.
So that's where I get the gospel side from.
Okay.
And my dad, that's how I know about the OJs and the Shy Lights and just any kind of R&B soul music. Then my dad would venture off into like soft rock and stuff like that. So that's how I get the music. Then here come my little brother. He started listening to LL Cool J and all these rappers and all that. So that's where all the music stuff comes.
So basically, you was like really, really like surrounded by it.
Yeah, because I would follow my mama and thought like she was just like the baddest, most beautiful woman I ever seen. Then she could sing and all that.
Yeah.
And so people used to want her to come and sing at their churches and stuff, right?
Okay.
And so she would practice on Saturday and she would turn the recorder on and be singing, right? And so one day I took her recorder and snuck off and started singing. But I was only imitating her because I just thought she was just the flyest thing. Like the way she dressed and all that. That's where I get all that from, knowing how to dress and look in a certain way and just being all ladylike and, laid back in the cut.
Well, that wasn't a bad trait you picked up.
And so I was just imitating her voice. So when she turned it on to listen back, I thought I was in trouble. She said, come here. This you? And I would never say nothing. I was about 7 then.
Damn, so you've been doing this.
Yeah. And so I was singing at 7 years old, not like a little girl voice. Not like that. I was like, Shackle.
Okay.
By your hair. I was singing like that at 7. So my mom was like, "Is that you?" So I said, "Yeah." She said, "Girl, you can sing. Girl, come on." She started taking me to everybody. "Boy, you ought to hear my baby. You ought to hear my baby." So it kind of started there. And I took it up in school. But I never took it serious until, got in high school. And I was like, I want to be on Soul Train. I want to do this. I want to, because that, everybody liking our sound, it kind of make you, how that make you feel. You done been there. You know what it's about.
Yeah.
Once somebody get to be like, "Oh, man, he dope. I like the way he mix. I like the way he, DJ," you start being like, "Yeah, I'm feeling myself." So like,
yeah, and then when you go to the next one, you say, "Damn, I ain't got the crowd like I had the last time."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, really went down like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You run into those moments where ain't nobody moving. They just looking and checking you out. Like, man, I done hear all my high notes and my good stuff. I done did all my turns. I done dipped and dived and ain't nobody moving.
Yeah, for real. So, did you ever make it to New York?
We did.
And what happened?
I got signed to, I first went to Sugar Hill Records.
You talking about hip to the hop, the hip, hip, hip?
Yes.
Okay,
Sugar
then.
Hill,
Sylvia
Sylvia Robinson. And got with them, signed with her son, actually, Big Lee Entertainment. He had his own subsidiary of.
So Big Lee was a part of Sugar Hill. He was just like a little thing under there. Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the sons. Sylvia was the one who they're trying to say that she was, I don't want to say trying, forgive me for that, but she like was the start of the one that, that kind of like started this hip hop thing. But that's an argument between them or whatever. But she came out with Sugar Hill Gang. And so her sons, who was like the DJs and stuff like that, they decided to go, do their own record companies. And so I signed with him. And we went to Motown and I sung for Andre. Like Andre Harrell walked in the office. It was like, "You got to hit this girl," whatever. He was like, "Well, sing something." So I started singing, "Drifting on the rain, ain't no place I'd rather be than with you." And I was just singing the song and I'm looking in this, all right, I'm going to sing it for you and I'm going to look at you while I'm singing. He was like, "Sign her." I was like, "She already signed to him. Do what you got to do. Let's get it." So I had a deal with Motown and they had a deal with LL and his label. So it just started from there.
So did that cause any like conflict of interest?
As far as them and what they were doing?
Yeah.
It did. But me not knowing the business, it was a conflict. I had no idea. I'm just thinking, we're going to sing and we're going to be famous and we're going to make money. And it don't work like that.
No, it didn't work like that.
Yeah, it was a conflict because that's where I get lost in the sauce.
I bet you know better now, huh?
Ooh, it took some years, but I know.
So we like I said, we call stuff a loss, but it's a lesson.
That's good.
It's a hard ass lesson, but it's a lesson.
It's a lesson.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I used to be saying like, man, I done did all these songs with all these famous people, or I see people and be like, man, I was out before them, or I was on, I was recording before them. I met them coming up. Why things didn't happen the way, and at the time, and I know now that it was for my good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What happened is they did something strange for some change.
That's all it was.
That's how it goes.
So I was signed to Sugar Hill, and Andre wanted me so bad that they did a deal. So, and then who ends up, paying for everything? I don't get nothing out of the thing. I'm getting about 4 or 5 cents off of each album I said.
Yeah. I remember, I remember Jim Jones took Cam contract and sold it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll sell their contracts. Mm-hmm. And you'll never know.
Nah, I didn't know. I didn't know all the money I got and all that, because being signed to a subsidiary, I'm going to get the money, but it's going to go through them, and they're supposed to distribute it to me.
Yeah.
But they doing what they want to do with it. Yeah. I don't see a dime, or I see a little bit of it.
That's what I want, Angie. So I know, if I'm not mistaken, Angie Stone was under Sugar Hill Records, and she did a lot of that writing, right?
Mm-hmm. She was with, I think the group was
Sequence. Sequence, yeah.
On the phone.
Yeah, They said they was doing all that writing.
All of it.
So were you with Sugar Hill when she was there, or she was gone already?
She was gone already.
Okay.
Yeah, and while at Sugar Hill, I learned that it was so many other artists that after leaving Sugar Hill became famous, like LL Cool J, Naughty by Nature.
LL was with Sugar Hill
Yeah,
too?
they were signed to. He was signed to a subsidiary with another brother. They had other companies. You know what I'm saying? You got Sony, and then you got all these other little companies up under there.
Yeah.
It was like that. Mm-hmm.
Damn, I didn't
And
know
so
that.
all of them had gone by the time I came.
So, if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong. So Andre started the Flavor Unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the Diddy Man came.
Yeah. And see, I came in that era where all of that stuff was beginning.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that is crazy that I was right in the midst of that stuff. Like, Andre brought me on. Puffy had just gotten Bad Boy.
So Bad Boy was under the umbrella of Flavor Unit.
Yeah. But then after, I think Andre left Flavor and went to Motown, all that stuff got dispersed. I don't know how that goes. You know more about that than I do, about how those companies be. Like, it'd be one company and then they spread out and give each other different companies and all that stuff. So I don't know.
So basically, all of it was incorporated, and through that incorporation, they just had LLCs shooting everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
So at that time, Andre didn't have his company anymore. Was it Flavor Unit? What was it? Not Flavor Unit. You just said it.
Yeah, Flavor Unit had.
Not Flavor Unit. That's
Flavor Unit was Andre Harrell.
Oh, I thought that was, what's her name? Queen Latifah.
It was Andre Harrell, but Queen was under it.
Uh-huh.
See, if I'm not mistaken, Andre was the head of it.
Uh-huh.
And Queen ran it. And then you had Mary J. You had
Uptown. That's where it started with Andre. Andre had Uptown.
with the little cat on it.
Jodeci and all of them people and all of that.
Flavor.
Was something in
So I'm sorry, you're right. It was Uptown Records.
Right.
And the Flavor Unit was under it. The Flavor Unit was Queen Latifah. I'm sorry. Audience, I'm sorry. I had it wrong.
We're sorry.
I'm sorry.
We got it together now.
Yeah. It was Uptown. Because you remember the song, Uptown's Kicking It? And like they had the whole little song with everybody getting out on it.
But see, I don't know what happened, but all of that dispersed. Andre goes to Motown, and Puff ends up getting Bad Boy. Because I remember it was so fresh, and they were getting ready to introduce all the new people who were signed to Motown, and we had this party, and I remember them having like these signs with Bad Boy. They would be hollering that.
So
and
hold on. So you caught one of the first Diddy parties.
Don't do it. No, it was an Andre Harrell party, and Diddy just happened to be there.
I'm sorry.
Come on now.
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
But I mean, I've had the opportunity to actually go to those and just didn't. Or the people that was with me, and man, I could tell you some stories.
Well, we got time. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, I know we got more time than money. So we got time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be on a future episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Chronicles of Tiff.
Oh. The Chronicles of Tiff, favorite. I like it.
Okay, then yeah. So, please continue with this.
You want me to continue now, or you want me back on your show?
No. I want you to pick up from where we left off.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, if I'm not mistaken, it was like, so now the Bad Boy thing comes out, right?
Well, all of that was happening. He had just gotten his thing. Bad Boy was just coming. Flavor in Your Ear was out. It was hot.
Yeah.
Then Biggie
Craig
comes
Mack,
on the scene. I see all of that. All the Biggie is the next artist that's about to drop.
So you had Biggie, and then you had, I think Kim came around the same time, right?
Well, yeah, they were under. They were part of Biggie's thing, but it was Biggie and Faith Evans.
I thought Faith came later on. She was there then?
All of that stuff was happening at the same time.
So, look, Kim was under Junior Mafia.
Right, which was a part of Biggie's.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, almost like a lot of those little cliques, all of them had different distributions.
Different subsidiaries of that one
So
thing.
if you had different distributions, that's more money. Instead of having everybody have one distribution, if everybody got different distributions, we got multiple monies coming from everywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what he did.
All of that stuff was happening at the same time. So then we're all, it was Motown, Uptown, and Russell Simmons. I left that part out. He had his thing. So it was at that time when all of those.
Russell started with Rush Management, right?
But what was the name of his company? I mean his record label.
Wasn't it Def Jam?
That's what it was.
But he started as that Rush Management.
Mm-hmm. And so they all had all these new artists and was getting ready to just do, like, all of us was getting ready to go overseas, have this whole, like, be in this castle for 3 months and just do music. Just all day.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. They would give us all this money. You're going to send this money home, and you're not going to be able to talk to your family, this, that, and the other, all these different companies. I'm like, man, I'm so excited. We got all this money. We're getting ready to do
So did they tell you how much they were going to give you?
I think it was roughly around 50,000, 100, just for that, because I had already signed and everything with Motown. So all that, I had like a $500,000 deal with them.
Okay.
Didn't get any of that. I might have got like $30,000 altogether out of that deal, because it went through the label that I was with under Sugar Hill.
Damn.
Big Lee Entertainment. So I didn't get any of that. But anyway, so this money was going to come directly to me. Man, you bringing back some serious memories.
Teach on that groove. Listen, we're going to tell this story and we're going to do some healing.
I'm sitting on planes. I'm going to different places and recording with different people. And I'm like, man, I don't be having no money. And the little money I do have, I'm sending it home to my people. And so the guy who is my A&R is on the plane with me. He was like, well, what do you do with your per diem? You get a per diem every month. I said, what? I said, per diem. You get like anywhere from 30. I think you get like $3,500, $5,000. What do you do with your money that you get every month? What money every month? That's going to the company. I'm not getting anything.
Wow.
But if you don't know, you don't know, right? I'm just taking whatever I'm getting from the label that I'm signed to. But that label has actually gotten a whole bunch of money from Motown to actually fund my entire project. And while I'm recording, I get money, a per diem of so much. It could have been like $100,000 or however long it's going to take me to record my project. If it takes 6 months, how much you going to need per month, you know, to facilitate her private life. Yeah. So that could be $5,000 a month. So there's extra money for me to have, and I'm not having no money. And I'm taking the little bit I got, send it home to mama, and because she watching my baby and all that.
Wow.
You might have to let me come back like 5-10 times, because this is a whole book.
It is what it is.
You opening up doors.
Hey.
Because I came at the time where if you pregnant, that's it. That's the end of your career.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So people say, well, what happened? During the time when the transition, when Andre was no longer over Motown, some of us got lost in the sauce. And I'm one of those people. So they're like, well, no, we're going to bring Tiffany to this label. I heard she pregnant. What? Find out, is that true for real? That's one thing you could not be.
So what happened about going to the castle across seas? And
I'm so excited. I call my mom. I'm telling her, like, oh, Mom, we're going to do this. I'm going to send this money to you, but you ain't going to be able to speak to me for like 3 months. Like, what? And I had you know how that song say, I had a praying grandmother? I had a praying mama. She prayed about everything.
Yeah.
She prayed for me to get a deal. I got a deal. Prayed for me to get safe, be safe all the time I was. So I said, Mom, you're not going to be able to speak to me because we ain't going to be able to talk. We're going to just be over there making music all day and stuff. Something about that don't sound right. How you not going to be able to talk to me? I said, Mama, well, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be on this island. We're going to be making this music and stuff. We ain't going to be talking to nobody. We just going to be focused on music 24 hours a day. And I'm not going to be able to talk to you, but I'm going to send you some money. You're going to be for 3 months. I'm going to be gone. Sound like the way that sound. That don't sound right. I'm going to pray on that. How in the world now we up living, trying to make it above water.
Yeah.
Like good times.
And she want to pray.
For me, because she said it didn't sound right. But I thank God today.
She was right all the time.
Because I could be witness number 10. Don't want to say my name. You know, you laughing, but it's serious. Yes. Like, you don't know what the Lord.
Yes.
I don't know what he saved me from, but I was hurt because they was like, yeah, we're going to take so-and-so and so-and-so, but Tiffany, you could stay. You're not going. And then my friends who were signed to Def Jam, yeah, we're going to take so-and-so and so-and-so, but hey, y'all not going. We was like, wait a minute. What's going on? And I was like, we didn't know, like, what's going on. When you're knowledgeable too, or you ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, it's before we started, when you were doing this, checking the sound and stuff, I'm asking you different stuff. People don't like you to be. You kind of make people feel funny when you asking all them questions. Like, what you asking all that for? I
want to
ask,
know.
yeah.
I want to know.
And so they don't like that. And so you stay back. We still got to work on you.
Wow. So from there,
I recorded a lot of music. I recorded a lot of songs. And some of the songs, Motown was like, yeah, she's there, but really not. We need more. And okay, well, we got the music. Now we need to work on her look. And so I'm like, well, what about my look? I'm looking like this. They're like, yeah.
They didn't want that. That's the same thing.
Too thick. Yeah.
That's the same thing happened to Shanice.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Shanice?
Yes.
I like your smile.
Yeah, yeah.
She wasn't sexy enough for him.
I disagree, but I think she's still beautiful, still look good.
Well, in their eyes.
Right.
Who else? What's the girl that made Tender Kisses?
That's the same girl.
No.
Shanice. Oh.
That's not the same one.
Tracy something, is it? Tracy.
Yeah, her.
Kisses.
Yeah. Same thing happened to her.
Yeah. That they want you to be innocent, but you're a little too clean. You know what I'm saying? You're a little too.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
my thing was I was too thick, or I was too shapely. I was too this. You're a little too dark, or you need to get a little smaller. And so I'm doing everything they're telling me to do, reducing who I am. This me.
Yeah.
When you go to the strip club, I don't know. Some
they
of y'all
want
go
the
to the
thick
strip
ones.
club, y'all want the anorexic girl? No, you coming in for the same things that you see now that's so out in the public, like, which I loved. Like when Beyonce revealed her first pregnancy. She did her little thing on the stage, and then she opened her coat, and her belly was out, and the crowd went, wow. I came up in the era where that was like taboo. You couldn't do that.
Wow.
Or like how Cardi B was so free with being pregnant, and just everybody, whoever is out there doing their thing and showing that you could still do your thing, rock, be sexy and pregnant. And you couldn't do that back then.
Wow.
You couldn't do that. There's a lot of things you couldn't do. You're too dark. They want to lighten you up, fix your teeth and all that. And some of that stuff you ain't had to do. These are my teeth. These still the same teeth.
Yeah.
So it was and it works on your self-esteem.
Yeah. So you have to overcome that.
A lot of that.
Yeah, it's cool though, you know, but I just feel that it's best to be you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so from there you just went independent?
From there, I when I didn't have a deal, my lawyer at the time was Ed Woods, rest his soul. He was like Stevie J's lawyer, Kelly Price. There's a lot of people in the business. So he was like, Tiffany, I really had an opportunity to look at your contract, and it's really like bad. Because even after I lost my deal with Motown, I'm still signed to the subsidiary with Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
So he had in a period of time to find me another deal, or I could walk away. And I walked away, but I walked away with no money and stuff like that. But see, Ed still was able to get me out of that contract, so I was glad about that. And he said, well, while I'm working on that, Tiffany, because it's going to take a minute, Kelly Price is looking for somebody to do background work with her. Would you be interested in that? I was like, sure. So that's how I started doing background, like live background with tour with Kelly Price, Brandy and Ray J. I toured with some of everybody, but I started with Kelly Price.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've actually done live recordings. I'm on Tyrese's first album on one of his songs. I've done a lot of background music recording and then live stuff. And I ended up doing Kelly for a couple of years, for quite some time. And then I moved on to Mary J. Blige. I did her for about a year. And worked on background work while he get me out of that contract.
Yeah, so he just put you in a position so you can still lead.
Mm-hmm. And while he was doing that, he was actually teaching me. And I had moved back to Louisiana then because I didn't have any more money, anymore, nothing. So I had to move back home.
Like, Mom, I'm home.
Yeah, something I didn't want to do. You
Yeah.
know, because you like when people looking at you and seeing you on TV, seeing you on all the shows, and think you got it going on, and you don't. But you got people thinking that, and
Yeah.
so then you feel like you done made it, and then you got to go home. So I went home, had my baby, all that stuff, and start living from home. But I would travel, flying in and out.
Yeah.
And I did background work. And so while I did that, Ed was teaching me. He would call me on the phone, and he was saying, you know what this mean right here in these contracts? This is what this mean. Da, 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 da. And so he taught me a lot about stuff, and he was like, your publishing means a lot. And he taught me that at the time,
Yeah.
I was only going to make, like off of each album I would sell, I was only going to make 4 cents. And out of that 4 cents, I got to pay all of the producers and all of that stuff. So I would never end up ever having anything. And you got a lot of people today, they still in these contracts that got you think they throwing money in the air and got you thinking they making money and all of that stuff, and not off no album sales, not off no records, not off no streams. They might make it off the live shows if, they got the right setup as far as contracts are concerned. But you got to know what you're getting in. And he taught me that. And so I decided, you know what, I'll go independent. And at the time I was learning about it, you had, what is it? I can't think of their name right now. Oh my God. Cash Money in them.
Yeah.
Coming.
Okay.
And not P Diddy. Cash Money. Master P had already done it. Had mastered that independent and how to get that money from the majors. And so the majors was like, man, we'll never do no deals like we did with Master P and with Cash Money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and from there, Koch was giving out some good money, but they wasn't giving you that much money up front. But I think at that time, Koch was giving you like $8 a CD.
At least they was giving you something.
But, Jim Jones taught me about that one. So Jim said he was getting $8 a CD. So a couple of weeks ago, he was talking. He said, man, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. He said he ended up signing his publishing over for life.
Wow.
And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
You can fight. You can go get lawyers, and there's no more Koch. So whoever owns those contracts, there's nothing he can do about it.
Well, at the time, I had signed my publishing. I didn't even own my publishing. That was what I was going to get. The 4 cents was what I was going to get off the album sales. They was going to have my publishing for life.
Wow.
That's what they're known for. That's how they still make money this day off other people's work.
So tell me this. These up-and-coming artists, I know what I would tell them. But what would you tell up-and-coming artists right now?
The most important thing is your publishing.
Yeah.
Now, you know what else I would tell an artist? Because a lot of, we as artists, we think we meet these people with all this money and they want to invest in us. And so we just want to take their money. And, when you sell albums or when you get residuals, you're like, well, why is my check just this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the man who took his money and invested in you,
he needs his money
in you,
back.
he got to recoup his money.
Yes.
But when you're making those deals, this is how we're going to do it. Let's sit at the table. This is what you're putting out. This is what I'm going to get back or whatever. Let's be able to work out where we both eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So my thing is too. I'm like, if we're gonna sit down and talk, I need to have my lawyer. You got your lawyers, and to a certain degree, act dumb. What this mean? I don't know what this mean. So basically, I want you to break it down to me.
Don't go in there like you know everything. But
and another,
you want to know everything.
To me, another thing with these aspiring independent artists, I would tell them don't sign.
I wouldn't sign with a major.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
not the first go around.
But the way the industry is made right now, you can get your own money.
You can.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta find the right strategy.
Yeah, and find your spot.
Like what's his boy name? Tech Nine on the Midwest Midwest. Tech Nine got fan. He has a fan base, so he got loyal fans. So he prefer to have 200-300 loyal fans that's going to look out for him and support him,
right?
Versus a gang of bots,
right?
So what I'm saying, does that make sense to you?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but look, we're not gonna go too far with this because I don't want to give it all out at one time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I enjoyed talking to you though.
Oh yeah. But check this out though. Where can they find you at on your social media?
I'm Tiffany Favorite on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
I got music on Apple Music.
Okay, y'all go
on
like
all
and
the
subscribe.
platforms.
Yeah, please go support her. You know what I'm saying? Independent artist. She got a serious story. You know where to find me at. You know what I'm saying? Vincent DJ Doc on Facebook, on Instagram, underground_media. Beautiful Struggle. 1970. Check us out. Peace. We out.
I'm tapped in on everything, I'm tapped in. I keep my ear to the street, nigga, I'm tapped in. I've been in tune, seen the vultures in the room, seen the ugly way before it got ugly. I seen the fumes, stipulations on the love that they gave, I seen that too. My reaction to the way they behave, ain't no excuse.